You're not like them. You didn't buy Bitcoin because it was trending. You didn't buy it because you saw a celebrity post it. You didn't even buy it because you fully understood it. You bought it because something felt off. Something in you looked at the world, the chaos, the printing, the compliance, the stress, and said, "There's no way, this is the only way." You didn't just want more money, you wanted more control, more time, more peace, more truth. And that's how people end up in the 0.01 Bitcoin club. Not with loud flexes, but with quiet conviction. Because this isn't about owning a coin, it's about owning yourself. See, most people will never understand this club. Not because they can't afford it, but because they can't think for themselves. They outsource their beliefs, they rent their identities, and they borrow their values from headlines and influencers. So when you say, "I'm buying Bitcoin," they ask, how much? They ask, how fast will it 10x? All because they want that dopamine and not the discipline. But the 0.01 Bitcoin club thinks differently. We don't chase wealth to look rich. We chase sovereignty, so we're not owned by the world. And ironically, it's that mindset shift, that calm, boring, long-term energy that ends up beating almost everyone else. So let's talk about numbers for a second. There are only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist, and already over 19 million of them have been mined. So if you own just 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, which is 1 million Satoshis, you are statistically ahead of 99% of the planet in terms of direct Bitcoin ownership. Now that's not a flex, that's a warning. Because as adoption increases, as governments, corporations, banks, pension funds, and retail all rush in, that 0.01 worth of Bitcoin gets harder and harder to find. Now the cost won't just go up, the opportunity will disappear, and at some point 0.01 worth of Bitcoin becomes the new 1 Bitcoin. Because 1 Bitcoin becomes unreachable for 99% of people. And when that happens, you won't just be early, you'll be a digital landowner in the most valuable monetary network ever created. See, the 0.01 club doesn't brag. We don't try to time the market. We're not flipping tokens or chasing trends. We're not trying to get rich fast. We're trying to get free forever. And that changes everything. Because this isn't about number go up. It's about reducing noise. It's about sleeping better at night. And it's about building a future that doesn't collapse every time the Fed speaks. It's about unplugging from the matrix of overwork, overconsumption, and over-leveraged lifestyles, and plugging into a system built on mathematical truth. So let me paint a picture. Imagine it's 2032. You're in a city where real estate has skyrocketed. Mortgage rates are insane. Jobs pay less in real terms, and owning a home feels like a fantasy. But you remember that quiet conviction you had back in 2025, when you bought 0.01 worth of Bitcoin for around $1,000, and when everyone mocked it, and when the media said it was dead. But now, that 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, it buys you land, or a home, or it funds your life for years. Now, not because Bitcoin is magic, but because you held what others sold. You thought for yourself when others outsourced their beliefs, and you had patience in a world addicted to speed. Now that's what the 0.01 Bitcoin Club is really about. Proof that you knew how to wait. Now here's what most people don't get. Bitcoin isn't just money, it's monetized energy. And you're not just owning digits in a wallet, you're holding scarcity that costs real-world energy to create. It's time, labour, hardware, and electricity all compressed into a digital asset that nobody can print or fake. And when governments debase currencies to stay alive, when inflation eats the middle class from the inside out, Bitcoin becomes the lifeboat. And in a world of infinite money, the finite becomes priceless. And if you own just a fraction, just 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, you own a piece of truth in a system of lies. See, the rich are buying Bitcoin. Corporations are buying it, nations are exploring it, and banks are quietly building around it. And what are most people doing? Well, they're scrolling, doubting, and mocking it, because they think Bitcoin is about price, but it's not. It's about ownership. See, the rich own assets, the poor own liabilities, and the middle class, well, they own beliefs passed down from debt-ridden systems. Beliefs like cash is king, real estate never loses, and hard work is the path to freedom. But it's not. Hard ownership is the path to freedom. And the 0.01 Bitcoin Club gets that. See, you're not crazy for wanting out. You're not weird for feeling something's wrong. And you're not behind because you only hold 1 million Satoshis. You're awake. You're early. You're betting on something real. Now, when you hold Bitcoin, you're holding a vote against manipulation, against corruption, and against the system that made you feel like time was something you had to sell to survive. You're holding hope, but not blind hope, conviction, mathematical, predictable, unshakable conviction. And the best part, well, you didn't need a trust fund. You didn't need insider access. You just needed to be early and patient. See, the world is shifting from noise to signal, from chaos to clarity, from systems of debt to systems of ownership. And right now, you're living in the window, the brief, rare moment in history where you can front-run the future with $1,000 and a clear mind. So the question is, will you let the noise distract you, or will you join the quiet few who choose to win before the world wakes up? Now, if you already hold 0.01, 1 million Satoshis, then don't let go. Don't chase the next shiny thing. And don't let people who think in days talk you out of a vision that plays out in decades. And if you haven't joined the club yet, you still can. But for now, because the 0.01 Bitcoin Club isn't just about money. It's about being early, being aware, and being ready when the rest of the world finally sees what you've seen all along. Now, if you want to go deeper down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, then check out my ebook down below, because it's the wake-up call they never wanted you to read. Now, I do also have to chuck this disclaimer in here as well, and I highly suggest just pausing the video and having a little read. Now, if you've made it this far, and if you're looking for something else to watch, then click right here and have a watch of this.